think there's a realistic chance that it may not go to plan, but I think for me that's a chance I'm willing to take, and I'm quite excited by it, and I think, yeah, I'll learn a lot from it either way and hopefully grow from it. Yeah, 24 hours after it gets aired, everything's gone. Alright. See you in a little bit, yeah? I was looking at staying somewhere else.
We don't have a VPN now.
I think I'd try and knock down seal power.
Morning.
Morning. Right. Not good seal power.
Do you think that is like...
So you only just downloaded the app?
I think for me, London has always been something which I've asked the question about, whether it's the right thing to do, whether I could do it, whether it fitted. And of course, it's never fitted until we hit this year. And after 5 years of working on swim and bike, there was an opportunity to work on run. And my first question I asked is, well, can I do some run races around that? And more importantly, could I do the London Marathon? And I think, yeah, it's come at a great time where after an Olympic Games, I think there definitely is a bit of soul searching that you do for your purpose and what you want to do to keep improving, getting better. And for me, to have that kind of goal of London Marathon, I think it worked really well that I was able to kind of come off my winter break and really sink my teeth into something which I've loved doing and enjoyed doing.
Right, hold the pressure, I'm not working tonight.
Breathe out the nose like Puggy.
I forgot it's throwing the ankles.
I think there's definitely risks involved. I think there's also so many unknowns involved as well, which is quite exciting in a way. I think when I'm in this uncomfortable unknown zone, this is where I'm doing my growth, this is where I'm doing the learning, and I think that's quite exciting really. I've never kind of done the run volume that I'm doing at the moment. I've never done it at the speeds that I'm doing it at. I've never done the kind of length of workouts. Never run a race over 10K, so I mean it's all pretty exciting and new, but I'm kind of embracing that. Yeah, and I felt a bit bad because he like came in and then he was like came out of the house and then came in and I was like, oh.
It's a shame because he's so like cuddly to us and he's so nice.
I'll show him the video of
What's he doing? It's like yoga, right? Like, what? He's so funny, and then he just be random.
But yeah, there you go. That's Jet. But he's so cute when he's like.
I know.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
We always joke that Adam's way of like, if he wants to say sorry to you, well to me especially, because I like grew up with Labradors, he'll just send me a photo of the dog. Like, and that's like, I'm like, okay, so
Oh God, you put me under pressure now.
Well, we've not made a coffee for a while.
Well, yeah, I've had a shocker here. I'm gonna have to do another one to redeem myself. No, I actually don't really have caffeine at all, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm. I don't know. I've just never really found the benefit to it. So,
Yeah.
some people respond to it and some people don't, I guess. So training volume's gone down, but then I would say training's probably as hard as it ever has been because it's such a different stimulus as well. Yeah. So each time I go for a run, before was like, it was both are enjoyable now, but I could just run and switch off my mind and stuff like that. Whereas now it's like, right, I need to run, I don't know, 6-minute miles for this bit, so I need to like kind of switch on a little bit and work to a heart rate and that kind of stuff. Whereas triathlon training is very like off feel and very aerobic, and so yeah, it's just, I think those things are the big changes. We have periods like during race season where one of us will go away on a race and then they'll come home and then the other person will go straight away. So that'll be like where you spend like 4 weeks, 5 weeks apart.
Oh, really?
So,
yeah. But yeah, last year the timing wasn't great because I raced 2 weeks back to back before Alex went on camp for like 4 weeks, and then obviously it was Paris. So I think it must have been like 7 or 8 weeks that time.
Yeah, I guess I had I would say a pretty normal childhood. Grew up with a brother and sister and mum and dad, so yeah, very lucky to have a loving home down in South London. Yeah, and I loved it. I think I was very fortunate to have parents who were encouraging but never pushing, so I always felt like everything that I was doing was my decision, and yeah, that led me towards doing lots of different sports, but then eventually, yeah, wanting to do triathlon because my dad was doing it. I think there was probably competitiveness between me and my brother, but mostly between me and my dad, so I could be better than him. I think there's always a part of you that wants to, you know, make them proud, first of all, but also I think I wanted to do that by being as good as him or potentially being better. And I think, yeah, within the household, there was always, you know, the odd spat when it came to a ball game or something like that. I think that's normal within a household to have that level of competitiveness, but I think we just, yeah, we all had that understanding that we loved each other, but yeah, when it came to ball games, it was fists out.
How did you meet?
Well, at World Camp, we
yeah,
kind of
training
met,
camp.
and then Liz slid in my DMs.
That's not true! No, it was all him. For ages.
No.
And
You
then
actually
when
slid
you
in my
stopped,
DMs,
then
but
I was
was more keen on you than that's the truth.
yeah. But it took a while.
Yeah, we were slow burner because we met each other in like end of 2014, early 2014, and then.
Well,
got
we were
together,
just
like,
friends at the
2016,
start.
Yeah. End of 2016.
Yeah.
So.
You, like, oh no, this is maybe too much information.
You
I
know,
could
just
say
add
Alex used to, like, because we were friends, he'd be like, oh, I'm talking to this girl, and I'd be like, oh, you can do better than that.
What are you doing?
David, come here. Yay! I don't know whether we'll just try and see you a few times towards the first half and then just make our way to the finish. And then saying that, even watching it on TV, like, you're going to run well, but maybe... No, but do you know what I mean? Like, when we watch Valencia 10K, it's just pointless.
Oh!
You even said that they're going to go through in, like, 60.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So then...
If Kip Lima's running 56:40, then
Yeah.
even if I had a really good day in Marsden, I would have been 3.5, 4 minutes behind them. So yeah, I watch a lot of, like, well, Lou watch on their YouTube, whereas I watch a lot of running YouTube.
Yeah, and also how to save your house in Clash of Clans.
Yeah, you know, you gotta stay on top of things, haven't you? So you're trying to expose me right now for no reason. Yeah, imagine if it starts snowing. I think there's a small chance of snow.
Is there?
Yeah, just from...
Lovely.
Just an easy hour this morning. Just tick off a bit of the volume, which we missed yesterday, so should be good. Yeah, looking forward to it. And then a bit of stuff later at New Balance indoor track, so should be looking forward to it.
Temperature?
Cold.
You see back there flicking someone's windscreen wipers up is still funny in the US.
Yeah, I think the way I'm doing things is probably unique to how most other people would prepare for a marathon, and that is, yeah, it's unnerving but also extremely exciting. I think we're on this fact-finding mission to find out what we can about whether this is possible, and you never know, this could become a gold standard for specific people, or for a person who may not be able to do high mileage or whatever it may be. And I think the unknown, yeah, excites me.
What's the craziest place?
Well, I don't know, but probably when I nearly wiped you off your bike pre-Cagliari last year. That was interesting.
I am enjoying the process so far. I think there's been challenges. I've had, unfortunately, 2 bouts of illness, and I had to pull out of Barcelona half because of one of them, which was a shame. And there's definitely been hiccups along the road, and I've been very fortunate to have a few of those in the triathlons I've been doing in the last 4 years. But I think that's part of this kind of understanding of what I'm doing and the differences and the changes, and that kind of whole understanding is my mission of this. And I'm loving not knowing what's going to happen and not knowing what the outcome could be of something. And yeah, for me, that's kind of what is getting me out of bed at the moment and keeping me so motivated.
The moment's probably about 70, 75 miles a week. We'll see how we go, but probably get up to somewhere between 80 and 90 in big weeks, but that's still holding a volume of swimming and biking, which should almost top up on like the easy aerobic stuff. Given that it's something a bit new, we don't quite know, so we sort of more got a bracket for volume rather than a definitive number, and we just got to see how Alex handles it, how he goes with it.
And if Mark has to do it with you, Mark has to do it with you. Like, he's still got it.
Look how I look.
You've lost weight.
I know. I've only missed like 5 days of running since.
Can you just do this?
I was going to say, they're not going up any hills.
Yeah, give him some feedback. Tires are slightly flat. And,
So if he's running outside, then he turns like it.
Yeah, the cold one will get cold quicker than the hot one. We haven't been here for a month, so I just turned them on right now. It's really just filling up. But
You guys have flag?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Imagine if someone came up with a sport.
Make them legal for Valencia.
So right development in there.
Yeah.
Alrighty, if you're ready.
Cool, yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it up.
Mask or no mask?
We can do no mask for warm up. How long do you want for your warm up roughly? Just moving up.
12 minutes, something like that.
Okay. And then pace wise?
Miles.
No, you can say whatever. We'll convert.
Yeah, that's in Canada.
Yeah, it's after.
I think as a learner, I'm probably somebody who visually learns, and I would say I'm quite a curious person. I will ask questions about something if I don't understand it. I will never blindly do something. I think something always has to have purpose. So for me, once I understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, I think that's how I process things and how I get the best out of myself and understand it.
I think to coach, Alex is in some ways very easy because he's really open. He's really receptive to new ideas, and he obviously has a level of natural physical talent. And I think the openness kind of transpires through. The best way I could describe it is from when Alex and I first started working together, we could very quickly get to the nub of an issue because he's prepared to be super honest and super open about himself and his triathlon, which makes it very easy to work with someone because you can cut straight to the chase, you can have the conversation you want to have, you can argue, disagree, agree, throw some stuff around. But for me personally, I found that really easy to click with him from the outset.
So
It's just the material.
yeah, it's just a yarn woven into the sock from about the ankle up.
Probably the way Alex would describe some of what we do is like high-level problem solving. That what are the challenges in front of us? What are the things that we need to unpick and identify to be able to allow him to do the things that he wants to do? And I think that's probably one of the things that excites both of us is going into those things and going, right, how do we leave no stone unturned so that he can stand there and think, yeah, I have done as much as I can do with that, done as well as I can do with that, and be the most prepared person on the start line.
So the plan today is to do some testing of some very slightly different iterations of a few different new styles of shoes, prototype shoes. Basically find what's the best for me and hopefully be on race day with the best shoe for London and beyond, maybe LA as well. We'll see. Yeah, maybe 30 miles, something like that. So mile an hour over or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me that.
Let's,
Side away really quick.
I was
Go mask for it.
I was gonna say let's do a mask for it, so you just kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
Is that better? Okay. It's like that looks like you're really. All right, you ready for a little 30 seconds? Do 30 seconds here.
I think there probably is something to do with the shoes in that, like, you can see what he can feel, which is good, just in terms of the way that he runs, but also some of the way that the analysis is done and the VO2 data and how he's utilising his physiology with each shoe is quite interesting, because we've run a lab test pretty recently, so we've got bang up to date data not from this lab, and actually to compare the two and what's happening and why is really useful. It just gives a snapshot or a different snapshot on a different day to be able to go, that's interesting, that's up or that's down, but these bits are the same. And also, like, any input from different people with different views or thoughts is just really cool. So for me to be able to pick some people's brains and go, why are you seeing that, what do you think that means, like, that's really valuable.
Nicely done.
I think when I land,
I feel like you're coming in here.
yeah.
Okay.
So it just doesn't feel like I get the full play. Does that make sense? So like,
Okay.
when I come in, I like kind of land that in.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can kind of see it. I kind of land in a little bit.
We were talking a little.
Very quickly, mate. Your vest is inside out.
Oh no.
Sorry, guys. It's all right. Quickly change your mind. It's all right. Don't worry.
We've got to do that first mile again. Feels like in my other, in the shoes I have there,
Yeah.
I get a better toe off than these.
And these
ones.
ones. Okay.
Yeah. Than the ones I have.
The other
Pairs that I've been trying. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Do they go different speeds?
They could.
Yeah, they can. You can go like 1 mile an hour. You just been on the track?
No, this just came in.
Oh, nice.
No. You don't
Little kickabout.
or anything, no?
No, just well, we did VO2 data, but just at 12 mile an hour, just testing the shoes. So.
In for a fun afternoon, aren't you then?
Yeah, exactly. Halfway, so.
I would say there's a level of self-assured confidence that comes from his preparation. Like, he is pretty meticulous in the way he prepares. You definitely don't see that sometimes day to day in that, but his preparation is meticulous. Like, he's going into a race with no surprises. Even the stuff that's chaotic isn't a surprise. So, you know, it sounds a bit stupid, but like, we prepared for there to be stuff around the Olympic Games that was not something that you would expect, and we didn't prepare for a specific scenario. We prepared for stuff to be chaotic, stuff to be out of your control, and stuff that we hadn't thought of to happen. Rather than preparing for scenario A, B, or C, we prepared for a scenario that we just don't know about.
Come on. A little bit more.
Yeah. I feel like
Take the cap.
we end up.
Yeah, fine. What do you reckon? 2.5? Feels about. I don't feel that bad, so. It's just the time between sets that it just settles, I think, and then stabilizes. Well, I mean, yeah, I was at 170 the whole time, so that's like above what we were doing testing.
Yeah.
You're at 2.1.
2.1.
Yeah.
I might have got it up from. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, we ran out of 306 instead of
Yeah.
305. I know it sounds margins, but like a second, that's like a minute over a marathon. Do you know what I mean? Like,
The lactate's not a million miles off what I would expect. It's more the other bit.
the VO2 data.
Yeah.
The VO2
That lactate for that VO2 data is like massively decoupled.
Yeah. I think it could also just be. Would you end up putting weight in this? I don't think it would.
My weight was like a kilo heavier than when we did testing.
But I don't think it was a normal. Yeah, so we'll just kind of get you
So
set up either way with
theoretically,
those.
that's right on that range.
But then I said
That high ones, low
Yeah, those
twos is
three
what.
are good too.
Which could just but that could just be if it's Tuesday's just opened it up a little bit, therefore it's cost a bit more from a VO2 point of
Yeah, I'm
view.
curious what
But the
the
So when
lactate's down,
This one.
The
is-
lactate
other
down.
stuff's down.
It has this.
We're at like.
Yeah, don't backfill the volume today
Because we're at 10 miles now.
You'll end up doing it not hydrated and depleted. So we'll put the tag on the end of Sunday.
How long do you want to do cool down for?
15 minutes, if that's all right.
15?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, normally they're in their cases, but
This is the team relay.
team relay, yeah. These ones in particular, because everyone wants to see the gold one. Whereas my gold one from the relay is pristine, because no one was as bothered. Whereas this one's
And it's got its own little.
Yeah, Tom Daly knitted that for me. It was funny.
Alex is the most decorated Olympic triathlete of all time.
I suppose that.
We're very, very fortunate to be joined by one of the greatest endurance athletes currently living on planet Earth, and Alex Eaton. Quite frankly, the guy could easily make a career in running, in cycling, in swimming, but he does all three together.
So I'd had those kind of 3 years of demons, which had sat with me, but also probably taught me so much about myself. And I think I'd like to think that I'm able to inspire people just to believe that they can do stuff. I'd like to think that I'm starting to show a side of elite sport where you realise that people are just normal people, and that I am no different to you with my upbringing, what I did. Of course I worked hard at what I'm doing, but I want to give people that platform to be able to believe that they can do stuff. And it's so rewarding hearing real authentic stories from people when they stop me on the street, particularly after the Olympics, and tell me about their young daughter or their young son who's now asking for a bike for Christmas, or is now running around their living room, or wanting to go and do the junior park run, or even just people sharing memories with me about where they were and what they were doing when they were watching my race. And even one guy came up to me and said it was his last memory he had with his dad before he passed. And to have something like that, where you're impacting someone's life like that, is pretty crazy, and makes you realise that what you do is kind of bigger than sport. And hopefully I'm not just inspiring people in sport, I can inspire people to just find their purpose and their why, and yeah, just stick at it and give it a good go. That's why it's so quiet, mate. You either come here because
It's dead quiet.
it's dead. You all good?
All good. Short.
Mate, no shoe change, just straight in.
Yeah.
Alright, should we do it?
Yep, you lead the way.
That T100 is basically.
So Alex said that he wanted to run London Marathon. He said, what do you think of that as an idea? And I said, I think it's a really good idea. So he said, do you think the time from the Olympics through to London is enough? And in all honesty, it's probably on the edge of being enough. Like, it's the smallest amount of time you would want to do it in. But it's clearly something that he's thought about for quite a long time. I think probably from when he ran the London Mini Marathon.
In for a long one. 40 bad boys.
You start at the lane 8 400 start, and then 400 is the lane 7 400 start, 400 is the lane 6, then 5,
Okay.
then 4.
Cool.
And ultimately, he saw it even from the outset as something to enhance his triathlon, to be able to go would doing this make me a better triathlete? Can we tap into some areas we've not tapped into before? Can it open some doors? Can we learn things from it that we look at and go, right, maybe we could take that into a triathlon program, or at the very least, it's just a mental challenge and physical challenge of a pretty high magnitude that he can sink his teeth into for 6 to 9 months post an Olympics. And the plan for him was to do that regardless of how Paris went. So if you're running lane 5, 400 point is the red cone, 800 points the blue cone, 1200's the green cone, a mile is the end point there. And 10 off a minute in 70s, so that's 2:55 a k.
So got like two strides.
2 strides, 2 builds, and then a 200.
Carbon shoes.
Are they not carbons? Fuck, bro. Could be in my head rent free the whole time now.
So you taking the first 800?
Am I keeping it as a big session?
Oh no, because your GPS is off.
Okay. Where is it? Just check. But then does it know we're in lane 5? Yeah, because it's further than this each 400, isn't it?
So to be honest, if you're going to run in lane 5, you're just going to have to go off your watch, and you're basically going to finish somewhere
stop
down.
on the watch. So start there and then stop on the watch and then just jog through. So that was a 4:37.
About as amateur as it gets.
Doesn't matter. So it's 3.74 laps per mile. Okay. So 3.75 laps per 1600 meters.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we did have a trundle wheel, then we
so
just
it's
go
dead
back
easy.
28 meters.
28 meters.
The session's 10 by mile off a minute, or 10 by 4 laps really. Idea being that it's at half marathon pace there or thereabout, so 2:55 a k, 70-second laps, just building fatigue resistance really in and around that zone, pushing thresholds up. And this is quite a long track session for Alex. Like we normally, well certainly in triathlon, we'd probably go about 8k on the track. This is one of the longer sessions in the block, to be honest. Most of them have been around 12, 13k, but this one's pushing it up a little bit, and hence why I think the company tonight helps. And Hugo, Alex over that distance are probably in about similar shape, so should work well together. 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, so a touch quick. By the end of the next one, I'll have measured it out on the trundle wheel.
My GPS is completely.
I think it's the track.
The track noise.
Maybe
I think you have to put it in track 5.
I don't think it is winning. I think it's just trying to be the best person I can be and trying to grow the whole time. I think winning has a means to an end. If you win something and you achieve it, then where do you go from there? There's no afterthought and there's no goal after that. So for me, I think being better every day and trying to improve, and this is where the London Marathon project comes in. It's just about being better. If I can do that, then who's to say I can't go back to LA and achieve things, and who's to say I can't achieve what I want to achieve in London Marathon. That's what excites me, and I think that's universal across everyone. No matter who you are, you're trying to work to be the best person you can be, and I think that is the best way to focus, is kind of inwards.
Really, it's just the longer sustained sessions that there's not many people that can run with him, but to be honest, there also aren't many people that can run with him, so sometimes there's problems you can't really solve, and he has to get used to that a bit for racing. His time on his own, time with other people, time with chasing, and so we just basically square it away as they're all the things he's got to deal with in a race, and so a session becomes more than just physiology when you're looking at it like that, and so I think he gets a lot from each scenario to take through into racing. It's nice, guys. 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 69.9,
gusty. So like some reps you get away with it, and in some reps it's like pretty strong.
Is it just gusty when you're on the front, is it?
Yeah.
So basically we've changed the turnaround slightly. We're now going on 75 seconds rather than a minute due to a slight calculation error. We never normally do stuff out in lane 5, and so basically put the cones in the wrong place, and sort of to get to the end of the start we've opened it up from a minute to 75 because it's now 100 jog. These are the things that happen. And I think if you watched what Alex did as an observer day in, day out, it's not special. There's nothing in there, there's no one session that you go, oh, no one in the world can do that. But the ability to put that back to back over weeks and weeks and weeks. But I think probably some of the extreme bits are some of the ways that he takes in information, is able to process it, is able to have very challenging conversations with very little emotion intact with them. I don't think there are many people that can do that. And I think his ability to get the most out of himself on race day. Look, there've been situations where pretty much everyone has been stood there going, he's not going to win this race. I mean, the Olympics being a prime example of it, and probably me being one of the people who stood there going, I don't think he's going to win this race at this point. But with Alex, there's this weird ability that things just happen. He finds a way to get across the finish line at the front. You would never write him off. You'd never look at a race that he's entered and go, he can't win that. That's probably happened a few times. 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 69.7.
Yeah, but doing a mile crossover. Rather than just taking a mile each.
I think for me, racing is all about process. So I'd like to believe that when I race a triathlon, people see me as a triathlete rather than just the person who's waiting for the run. And that's been something which I've been passionate to kind of prove to people. But I always think that everything's about a process and trying to deliver each individual process one step at a time to try and stay as in control as I can, as calm as I can. So when it comes to that moment, I can make that really important decision when it matters as presently as possible, and as quickly as possible, so that I can make the right move at the right time.